Hey man, felt like I should do a response to a response because I think you may have made some good points, but may have possibly taken a little bit out of context or a little bit too literally some of what I said. Um, I think one thing that needs to be understood about that video is that that video in itself was not sort of like, you need to do this. You know, a lot of what I said in this video was a lot of advice. For example, when I say go talk to someone, whatever, that's more of a challenge to people. You know, a challenge to people to, I suppose you could say, open your mind. And I'm not saying that you're closed minded, bro, because I mean, yeah, I'm not saying you're closed minded just because that you've made those judgments. I think that we're possibly on a different understanding of what an open mind means. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But but yeah, that was more of a challenge to people. As in, hey, go talk to these people. You know, you've possibly gone through your day and made the judgments that they're a-holes or whatever. And you know, and maybe it's time for you to find it out yourself. Take the initiative of finding out what this person's like. Because then maybe if you must make a judgment of them, then maybe your judgment of, you know, how you want to interact with them could be a little bit more accurate than if you were just judging from the distance. And also, one other thing is to be clear, we don't know what these people's backgrounds are. We don't know what these people's hidden demons are. So, to make these judgments, we're really not taking into account a lot of what they've been through their lives. We're really not taking into account everything that has made them who they are. We're just placing these judgments on them as to what sort of person they are, and we don't know how difficult or easy their life has been, how the influences have, you know, have, I guess you could say, attacked them or to have, you know, influenced them to make them, to mold their personality, to mold their very being into exactly who they are. And when I talk about an unfair judgment, why is it unfair to judge someone based on their appearance? Okay, so do you think that it's okay for somebody to say, look at your haircut, for example, and like I don't know what your sexuality is, or whatever. Would you think it's unfair for someone to look at that haircut and say, oh, he's probably gay? Would that be an accurate judgment? Would you have a problem with that at all? I mean, like, would you have a problem with someone attributing certain characteristics to you based on certain things about your appearance that have nothing to do with those characteristics? And it's just these societies and cultures that put this together. I mean, for example, I think this is the root of a lot of the problems, like racism. You know, liking fried chicken has nothing to do with the I don't know what they call them. We were learning about them today in class, but the gene that makes you black has nothing to do with whether or not you like fried chicken. I'm just using this as an example of common racism that people will put, so, like something like that. The same gene that would make somebody's skin dark um, has no connection or, you know, no relevance whatsoever to a gene that would make someone inclined to like fried chicken. And I'm not saying that's a gene, but there are other common, you know, attributes people will try to attribute to someone based on their race, and you know it doesn't work that way. And I think people do the same thing with people's culture and appearances. Is they will assume that because somebody's appearance that they would have some sort of attribute. For example, I've had people assume for the simple fact that I'm a juggalo that I like to smoke weed. I have never smoked weed in my life. I have never smoked a cigarette and I've never drank alcohol. But people would assume because I'm a juggalo that I do, and they've been wrong to do so. So, how can we really know? How can we really make these pre assumptions? Is it really fair to make these pre assumptions? Because we could be wrong. The only way to know is to go talk to the person. That's why I say go talk to the person, and you just explained it. That sometimes confronting someone about these assumptions, can end up making a friend. Because you make an assumption about someone and you go talk to them about that. That I don't have a problem with. Because there you're actually using these little things called balls. You're going and talking to the person about these judgments. But when you keep it inside and continuously um, judge them without finding out whether you're right or wrong, and then that will automatically trigger your interactions with that person, perhaps. That's the problem, is when we have these judgments, they'll often trigger our attitude to be different in our interactions with them. So when we're making these judgments, it changes the way we treat them. And we could be being rude to them, or, just being a general jerk to them based on something about them that's not even true. How fair is that? So, I mean, that's what I was getting at when I was talking about how it was unfair to make these judgments, and etc. And so, also, yeah, just kind of what you how you took, like when you were talking about taking literally, when I was saying, the whole thing about an atheist and a Christian, whatever. Okay, first, okay, I actually am in similar shoes as you, because I'm a juggalo, obviously. I'm not Nemo, but I listen to all types of music. I'm a juggalo and a hip hopper, I suppose you could say, just like and I don't mean like a juggalo hip hopper. I mean like a regular, underground hip hop kid. So I'm a juggalo and not juggalo underground like the other underground. But yeah, I guess you could say an hip hop purist, quote unquote. So yeah, juggalo and a hip hop purist. I am a, what's the word? I'm an atheist, and my girlfriend's a Christian, and also, a lot of my friends are kind of like indie kids, or occasional preppy kids, kind of some of the not loser kids, kind of some of the nerdy kids too. All kinds of people. I hang out with a couple jocks. So in my school, it's like I do have this sort of like out there image, especially like in comparison to all these groups. There are no juggalos in my school. I'm the only one who's a juggalo at my school. No others. And so I'm kind of this out there image, and they kind of have like all these other kind of groups, but they're just sort of I'm possibly one. I kind of hang out with the group that's sort of like out there also. They're not, I don't know what they are. They're just kind of the wild kids, So they're kind of out there too, but like I'm pretty much, everyone knows me as kind of being that out there rapper kid, whatever. So yeah, I've seen a lot of judgments come at me. And to be honest, it always has bothered me when people would say things about me and assume things about me, yet not have the balls to come and talk to me about it and find out if their assumptions are right. And that's my problem with it. That's my problem with judgments, is we make them, and then we will tell just about everyone but the person that we judge. We'll start some back talk, and we'll let it affect the way we would go about our day, and let it allow us to have a negative attitude about people that could very well be good people. And I'm sure there were some points I failed to make, or whatever. I'm sure there were some things I failed to respond to. So if you have anything else, either message, video response, whatever, I can go as long as you need. But yeah. So it's Spike here. Peace out.